All right, everybody, welcome to the Week 2 recap. Let's get right to it. Let's not mess around. Here is your Week 2 winner.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Team Domo with the big win, 173.3 to 159.4 over We Are Garbage. So actually the Super Bowl of this week, because that was the highest score against the second highest score. Sorry, Shane, that is some rough luck right there. Hate when that happens. But yeah, it was quite a battle. Really, Stephen Cole gets the huge win and the title of Week 2 winner because of his genius play of Larry Fitzgerald. Bench Charles Johnson at wide receiver, who got 4 points this week, and put in Larry Fitzgerald, who put up a monster 38.2 points. So he puts him in the lineup, and he goes off, and he got the win by 13 points. So you needed that monster game from Larry Fitz. Nice job, Cole. And now the sad news. Who is the loser of Week 2?
Cause you had a bad day, you take it one down, you sing a sad song just to turn it around. You say you don't know, you tell me don't lie, you work at a smile and you go for a ride. You had a bad day, the camera don't lie, you're coming back down and you really don't mind. You had a bad day, you had a bad day.
So John Fitzsimmons, Super Mario Brothers, sorry to say it, gets loser of the week. And John Fitzsimmons might be saying to himself, wait a minute. I wasn't even the lowest scoring John in the league this week. Why am I a loser of the week? And that's a fair point. But it's mostly because John Fournecker didn't even really have a chance this week. He lost by like 60. We could have let him start like all the wide receivers on his bench. It still wouldn't have made the difference. Johnny Fitz, though, had a legit shot at beating Team Auto Draft and Ben. And the killer was starting Mike Evans, returning from injury at wide receiver. It's always risky playing the guy returning from injury first week back, and he got you 0 points. Ouch. So that was the big killer. And then also kind of picking Johnny Fitz as loser of the week because he has the Eagles quarterback of Sam Bradford and the Eagles running back of DeMarco Murray starting. And the Eagles were the losers of the NFL this week. So it's only fitting by proxy that the person starting their QB and running back is the loser of the week too. The Eagles just looked awful. Awful. So Johnny Fitz, if he started Famous Jameis at quarterback, could have got some extra points. Eric Decker at wide receiver. Maybe a different defense because the Lions D didn't have a good week. All those things could have maybe got you the win because it was still a pretty close matchup. Only lost by like 16. But Ben gets the win. Watch out, Team Auto Draft up to 1-1 now. All right, let's quickly recap the other matchups of the week. First, we had Fly Hard, my team, against One Fail Swoop, Drew Melson, the battle of the Melson brothers. And the final score, 136 to 120.8. Fly Hard gets the close win. And the difference in this matchup was Ravens defense. Oh, defense, you got to play those matchups. You got to play those matchups. And you thought this was a good one for Ravens D because they were playing the Raiders. So I was not feeling good about this matchup, and Drew was projected to win all afternoon, and he just had Ravens D in the late game. And Ravens D got him -4 points. Woo! Derek Carr and the Raiders are just throwing all over Ravens D. They did not channel their inner Ray Lewis, and the Raiders basically get me the win this week. That was a lucky one. All right, next up we have 55 years and still waiting, Mike Melson, against formerly 2 weeks and you're still waiting. Now the current team name of Womp Womp, John Fournecker. And this was a beatdown, 149.6 to 87.7. I do love John's trash-talking team names. I love it. I hope that continues. It just, you have not backed it up yet on the year. John's running backs of C.J. Anderson and LeGarrette Blount had an awful week. They combined for 4.3 points. Jimmy Graham only got 2 points. Bill's defense got -7 points.
That's pitiful. I mean, it's absolutely pitiful to perform like that. Pitiful.
A couple negative point defenses. Maybe if you're nervous, just don't start a defense is what it sounds like. These defenses getting negative points. And also, we have no idea what's wrong with Andrew Luck and the Colts. John's big-time first-round pick of Andrew Luck only averaging 12.5 points per game right now. He used to do that in like 5 minutes of games last year, and for some reason the Colts are struggling. 55 years and still waiting puts up a big point total. Emmanuel Sanders, Steve Smith, Carson Palmer, and Matt Stafford. Those 4 quarterbacks and wide receivers had big games. Actually, those 4 players beat John's entire 10-man team. So it wasn't even close. And a nice win for Mike Melson, getting up to 1-1. And then finally, we have America's Fantasy Team. Stephen Griffith against Brown to the Crown, Pat Jordan. And this was also kind of a runaway. Griffith and America's Fantasy Team gets the win, 152.9 to 119. Brown to the Crown, aptly named because Brown is a beast. Uh-oh. I'm getting updates about fantasy football right now, I think. So Antonio Brown getting 33 points per week to start off the season, but he needs some help from the rest of the team. Sounds like last year's videos. Sounds like I'm just repeating myself. But for Pat, Tony Romo is out now for quite a while. Poor Tony.
It's my quarterback.
And so he needs some help. Pat needs some help on his roster. And Stephen Griffith had a huge week. Ben Roethlisberger, good trade right there, got 28.7 points. Julian Edelman, 33.9. And then everybody else on the whole roster, very solid all around. Nice performance. So America's Fantasy Team got the win and is now sitting at 2-0 atop the NFC standings. All right, everybody, that does it for the recap for week 2. I think this might be in record time. I'm streamlining these videos. That was lightning fast, at least for me anyway. And looking at the league standings, I love that we got so many 1-1 teams. We got 6 1-1 teams right now. So a lot of parity. So I like that it's hopefully going to be a long, season battle to see who makes the playoffs. Because last year it was kind of decided pretty early. We had the haves and the have-nots. This year it looks to be a bit closer. And so this week we have 4 1-1 teams playing each other. So that'll be a big matchup right there to see if you go to above 500 or below 500. So, start looking at those lineups and looking forward to week 3.